Hello, let's do a weekly recap. I'm really excited to do this one because it's the first one with NASDAQ and gold at the same time. I didn't take any trades in on my live account, which this trade seller account is linked to my live account, and I took one trade in demo. Um, and you'll see, I'm already gonna say it. You'll see that there's another trade that's in my journal. That was an opportunity. So to give you like a quick rundown on everything that I'm up to in my trading now, NASDAQ, can't speak. Nasdaq, I'm demo trading at the moment, so I'm not trading real money, and that is simply because I've never traded Nasdaq before. So, and I've also not back tested enough of Nasdaq. I've done about a month, um, but other than that, I really haven't had the time to back test. So I haven't back tested much of Nasdaq, so I'm not very familiar with the price action. So I thought, you know what, let me just take it easy. Let me demo trade for a month while still trying to maintain profitability and get profitable on gold. But gold just hasn't been giving very many opportunities to get profitable. Because the price action has not been very good. So yeah, Nasdaq has been good. It's worked out well. I got one trade this week off of Nasdaq. I'm trading ICC, and yeah, there was another opportunity. So Nasdaq and gold, I'm trying to stick with trading them specifically in New York session. For gold, I want ideally the London New York overlap, but if not, just to start a New York session would be great. And then with Nasdaq, because it's a US centered instrument, then I only want to trade it in the US sessions. So one of the trade opportunities that I saw, I just usually I'll literally show you. What do we have? Gold. I'll pop a position on the screen. NASDAQ, I've got a position on the screen. I'm not in any positions, but I just like to keep them there as a reminder. So you'll see one with a position in there, but it was never New York session, so I didn't enter. Anyway, so we took one trade. It was a winner. But it's just not in here because I'm not linking my demo account because I don't want my statistics to be skewed, because obviously this is going to be me as a trader, so that reflects my psychology, it reflects my P&L, like in terms of actual real money. So yeah, I don't want to mess up my demo in here. Anyway, let's go to Monday and let's have a look. So go straight to the recap. There was no key levels broken on NASDAQ, and there was no key levels broken on gold, so it must have just been a very like nothing was going on type of day. They had PMI on that Monday, so that was a news Monday, but there was nothing really happened. Okay, this one I did the day after, so I think I did it like the London session day after this trade recap, and yeah, you can see no level was broken. So this would have been a key level. These two highs were key level, and this low was key level, and nothing was broken. So valid reason to stay out. That was Nasdaq, and then for gold, no key levels broken, so that is valid to sit out on. Key takeaways: let price present me an opportunity instead of looking, so not overly searching. And my daily routine is just gonna be a pattern. It's just gonna be a pattern. Reason for entering out: I wasn't confident in my entry. My ideal entry was too far into the move. Need to get more confident with entering on the break. Interesting. Let's have a look at the charts. Did I read the right thing? Wasn't confident in entering. My ideal entry was too far into the move. Need to get more confident with entering on the break. But was I not in position? Oh, it looks like it's negative RR. Maybe that's why. Maybe I didn't. Maybe that wasn't a valid entry then. No, that was hit. Another was broken. That makes sense. It went maybe through here. Maybe an indication correction through here. I'm not sure. Okay. Key takeaways was study the support and resistance entries. Look how price reacts and plays out with support and resistance better. And better outline my known trade zones. So I need to work on my known trade zones. Let's note this down. I need to work on my known trade zones. I need to work on entering early in the move. below the momentum level. So I usually like to wait for a break of structure above the level, and to be honest, that's what's worked with for me very well. But sometimes it works better to get in on the break, because this would have been way better. I could have had a position up here and stop loss up here and then taking that whole move. But at the same time, it's also about balancing, not being greedy. So if there was a break of structure, maybe this was actually valid. Unfortunately, I only took a photo of the 1 hour time frame. But yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting. And we've got an indication and correction here, so interesting. Let's move on. Wednesday. So Wednesday, what's going on? I'm reading the wrong thing, that's why. Setups I'm waiting for. No. Okay, continuation below level hit. I observed ICC bearish setup. Continuation below. Okay, so that continuation was never hit, so that never gave us an entry. Reason for entry or sitting out. Setup observed bearish ICC setup. Tested a few things. Risk paper trade. Blah 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 blah. Key take. Oh, this is when I had a realization about trades by side trading reactions and not just ICC, more just reactions is what he looks for. And then gold, we didn't get a continuation below this level, but look, it did kind of start going down, which is interesting because this must be basically where the trend changed, because it looks like gold has broken above this level today. See here, so that must be around about where the trend changed, and it's very interesting that it never went below this level. Which gives me a lot of confidence in being patient, because look, that's the level there. It literally missed it by a week, so that is just, it's just an affirmation of me. It's just affirming how patience is rewarding me, because I would have lost 1R on this. So I'm definitely glad that I was super patient. And then with NASDAQ, let's have a look. Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I was testing out a few things. This was the day where I was testing out taking entries before what's it called? New York session. So this trade I think was taken in London session, and yeah, I'm pretty sure what did it end up doing. Pretty sure it ended up going down. I don't know. I can't quote you on that. What was it? This day here. Yeah, because it's Wednesday. I think it's it's Wednesday, I swear. So Wednesday, you can see that, price continued up. So this is where I got in. I was testing out a support and resistance setup. So I identified this resistance level, and I was like, okay, if price breaks out of the support and resistance. So again, this is why I'm on demo, because I'm just testing out how NASDAQ moves, because I know that gold tends to go into a consolidation and then it will break out into that level, and whoever's broken out has more power. But you can clearly see here, we're looking towards pre-New York, we're looking towards London session, and I was looking at going short here because we had come off of a previous high time frame bearish trend, and then I have my position here, stop loss here, and I was waiting for price to just break out of here, and then it did, and then it ended up basically faking out. Again, it was just something I was testing out. I'd gone into this week knowing that I only want to take actual setups for US in New York session, because it's a US focused instrument, so I only wanted to take setups in New York, but I was just testing that out. I just wanted to obviously record it in my journal, because I'm demonstrating for a reason. I'm demonstrating to test things out, but in reality, that's not a trade that I would take. I would only take trades in New York. I would have, even if I was trading NASDAQ on a live account, I would have demonstrated that, because I don't really feel like London is the best session to trade in for NASDAQ specifically. Anyway, yeah, I'm glad I had the chart open so I could explain that to you guys. So that's Wednesday. What do we have? Bearish ICC, didn't hit my entry again. So that's a third day that it doesn't hit my entry. So that's something to mentally note. Second day, I think that's the second day where price didn't hit my entry when I was still looking for the same setup. So I guess after that, it really shows that whatever side that I'm trying to position myself with, like whether it's buyers or sellers in this case, does not have enough control. And then for NASDAQ, bearish ICC setup, it went to my level in New York open. It was weird. It was 1 to 1.3. This is the setup that I was talking about that I got. Takeaways: market always presents opportunities. What I'll do better, patience and learning. So I just wanted to learn more. So yeah, we ended up getting that move. So again, that was that previous day, that London fake out, I guess. Definitely an interesting observation, and it's probably, I think it's something that ICT traders talk about, with like the fake outs in London. So that's definitely interesting that that is the case because I can use that in my analysis more. I'm very, very glad that I tested that. But yeah, it ended up going all the way to my level. It ended up going straight to the wick, not the candle closes, which is good because sometimes gold will have a little bit of resistance or support at the candle closes. So usually I like to target the candle closes, but maybe on NASDAQ I can target the wicks because it's a little bit less wicky than gold, even though we can see a really lovely big wick right there. But yeah, that's interesting. And then yeah, gold again. I was just waiting for that continuation and it never came. It ended up forming a lower high here, but it's very interesting. Over 2 days of price almost hitting my entry, I did not enter impulsively. I waited very, very patiently to see what price would do, and lo and behold, it did not hit my level, but it did not hit my level for a reason because it ended up reversing. So that's a win in itself. I think that's probably my best trade. I'm gonna write down best trade. This is a gold one. Because to be honest, that NASDAQ trade that I took in London and in New York Open, that was an easy trade. That was an easy trade. That was ICC, straight to the books. I can literally show you guys, and identify it on the charts. Like it was textbook ICC. We got this low here. We got a lower high made here. We even got a resistance level hit here with candle closes on a lower high. And then we had price break below this level. It displaced. It formed a reaction candle at this level. That's a very strong reaction candle. Immediately rejected this level, went straight and formed another lower high. And literally textbook like setup right here. What's it called? Lower high again, and just straight to TP. Like that could not have been more textbook for ICC in my opinion. So that wasn't, I wouldn't call that like my best trade. I think sitting out of that gold trade would have been my best trade. Just not every winner is going to be your best trade, and not every loser is going to be your worst trade, or any no trade day. Not every no trade day is going to be a bad day. Sometimes you're literally just preserving capital and avoiding losses. And I did by being so patient with gold. I could have just forced an entry because, I could have taken it as an inflation to my ego because I'm taking wins on I'm taking wins on demo. I'm winning trades on Nasdaq. Like surely I can win on gold. Like, let me just get in early. The setup is there. I can see blah 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 blah, and then entered early before it got below that momentum level. But honestly, just sticking to my strategy has saved me so much. Just like in terms of that setup. So I'm very happy about that. Let's have a look. No opportunity for gold. It invalidated my setup on the Friday. And NASDAQ bearish ICC setup, and there was no continuation. So that's actually, I'm pretty sure, what I'm waiting for today. That bearish ICC setup. So we had one here. So I'm waiting for another one below this level. And then for gold, my setup was invalidated, so my buy switched. So now we're going for buys instead of sells. Key takeaways: patience pays. What I'll do better tomorrow, my daily routine, and then as you can see, that's the setup that I was waiting for on NASDAQ. It ended up pushing past here a little bit more, but it still formed a lower high in terms of these highs here. But yeah, and then gold, my setup was invalidated. I didn't hop in the trade. I know it looks like I hopped in the trade here, but I genuinely, as you can see, my trading live account is linked to here. I have no reason to lie. I'm trying to learn here. Like, I want to learn from my losses. Why would I not reflect on my losses? But yeah, definitely did not take this one. Also, you can see there's negative RR, but it's like that for a reason, because that was where the lower high was. But yeah, I talked about that last week. I talked about the trade, I talked about the setup, I talked about why it was placed in that certain way. I talked about potentially not taking the trade because even if it did get to my level, because it's negative RR. Spoke about all that stuff. But anyway, let's do a little weekly analysis. No, weekly recap. Or was it week ending the 9th of the 11th? Oh, okay, weekly review. Week of, we already got that in there. Total trades taken, I'm going to say 1. But I mean, would we classify that other NASDAQ setup? That was what? Tuesday? What was the notes here? Bearish ICC setup. Yeah, here we go. Wasn't confident. Okay, I think that was a hindsight trade. I'm not going to count that because I would have noted it better if I had actually analyzed it like to a T and knew that price was going to do that. I would have remembered it because I don't take that many setups. And that's the beauty of not taking that many setups. Like, a lot of people will look down on it, but it's so good as a beginner taking such a small amount of setups, because every setup that I take and every loss that I take, I can like recite on the top of my head. Like, I took 1 loss last month, I can think about it on the top of my head. A little bit less for wins because, like, you obviously journal them, look for the good in them and look for the bad in them and whatever. Like, I'd still journal my wins, but yeah, what was I going to say? I can remember my losses basically off the top of my head, which is so good and it's so beneficial. Oh, there was like a fluff on my leg. I thought it was a bug. Anyway, so win rate was 100%. But I'm going to put in brackets on demo. Average R was 1 to 1.15. Best trade. Sitting out. Sitting out on gold sells when price didn't hit my entry. Worst trade. None. Days I sat out. Monday to Wednesday and Friday. Did I follow my rules? 9. Did I overtrade? No. Emotional patterns. I feel like I just felt a lack of knowledge, and also stress when it comes to support and resistance setups. I saw that Sai took a trade today as well. I probably will talk about it a little bit more in my Trading Diaries episode, but I think that there's obviously ways to reflect on the trades that he does take, but at the same time, I'm not trying to trade reactions at this stage. I'm trying to trade ICC, and it's worked really well for me, and I'm getting consistent wins. I might not get the most amount of wins, but I'm getting them consistently, so I'm still happy with that. But yeah, I don't know about the reactions because I cannot wrap my head around that. Hopefully he posts a trade breakdown, but I'm not sure that he will because he's taking a break of social media, I think. But yeah, anyway, what I'm proud of, not taking that gold sell. What needs fixing? Probably just more knowledge. I know that a lot of people say that you don't need more knowledge as a trader, but I think people underestimate the power of rewatching videos that you used to watch as a beginner. Like, I always rewatch videos on price action, on market structure. I rewatch the ICC videos all the time. I have a few of Sai's unlisted videos on my little trading course playlist. I try and leave a link in the description of every video, but if it's not, it's just a free playlist on my channel. I wouldn't I don't know. They're obviously unlisted, so they're not on Sai's channel, but I found a playlist when I was looking for some ICC videos to watch, and I saw his videos in there, and they were actually videos that I had studied previously, and I don't know why he unlisted them, but they helped me a lot. So if you are an ICC trader, I would actually strongly recommend, because they're just 30 to 40 minute videos covering the entire strategy, because I know his course goes through trends, it goes through market structure, it goes through entries, and all of it separately. So overall, you could be studying for like 10 hours just to get through like how ICC works, and it's great for beginners, and it's absolutely amazing. And I would definitely not recommend not watching it 100% watch those course videos, but if you're experienced and you've watched them, gone through them, taken notes and understand it, and you just want a little bit of a refresher, a little bit of a reminder, I would strongly recommend those unlisted videos. It's like the how to trade. It's like, those flashy type of like, this is the best trading strategy, whatever. It's just like just a strategy video, but yeah, they're really good. So yeah, I feel like people underestimate. I feel like this video would have gone on for so long. Yeah, 20 minutes. I feel like people underestimate the power of just rewatching those videos that you used to watch as an initial trader, because I feel like I'm starting to click with more things. Like Sai will say stuff, and it'll be like I didn't hear it before, but then it just clicks out of nowhere. Like the other day it was corrections. Like he was talking about how corrections is hunting liquidity, and it's a liquidity sweep, and it just all clicked to me. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a liquidity sweep. So if it sweeps the liquidity off of the previous level, then it's just a liquidity sweep. Like it took me a minute to understand that, because this was probably like the third time I watched the video. Like, yeah. Anyway, so I feel like, yeah, I need to just do more, I guess, revision and just re-looking over basics. But yeah, what setups worked best? Did I not just answer this? The ICC setup on NAS. What setups didn't work? None. Market conditions was choppy, but started to clear up. Yeah, that's my weekly analysis. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys had an amazing week. Let me know how your week went. Let me know if you took any of the similar trades that I took, or if you took any other trades. If you took an ICC entry last week on something that I didn't see, please leave it in the comments and tell me what day. You don't have to, write a whole paragraph, because I know it takes a lot of time, but I would really appreciate if you could just tell me the day and what instrument, and I will jump on the charts and have a look and see if I can find it. But yeah, I hope you guys had an amazing trading week, and I wish you guys the best on this week. And yeah, stay tuned for my weekly analysis. Bye.